Hello guys, Ashley here. I was known as the Asian fan back to with another video, and today I just wanted to give a little bit of a channel update. I know that I promised that I was gonna make my One Tree Hill video on season 2, and that is still a must. But like I said before, I'm really in the transition of moving, and there's just so much to get done. Moving, I'm starting a new job. Well, I just started my new job. All of this is just happening all at once, and it's like really chaotic. So it's really hard to make videos on YouTube when you have a lot of things going on personally. And I have to meet my landlord. He said today, but he hasn't texted me back. Either today or tomorrow to get the keys for the house, to have a tour. Um, and we still have to get a moving truck and move all of our things in there. It's just so much going on. I'm hoping that by the end of the month, not even by the end of the month, I'm hoping that soon, when things get settled in and packing is finished and all that, because I still have things I need to pack. Like, my room isn't completely done, but it is done, but it's not all the way done. Like, I still have to pack my fragrance and my clothes and all that stuff. Um, I'm hoping that once I move into the new house and everything is just settled, I can finally start making videos again, because I miss making videos and I miss writing. I haven't written in over a year because I'm looking for a new place to live. I went through two jobs the past 2 years, and I'm starting another one right now because the last two jobs were just not paying well. So I had to find a whole new job just to find a decent house, and then I found a decent house, and now all this stuff is happening at the same time. So it's just so much going on, and I just feel like they're making videos, and like, even if I'm not making rants, at least editing and things like that helps me be stress free. But I just feel like you guys deserved it. The last rant I made was 7 days ago, and that was about how I feel like sometimes Haley can be a bad friend towards Lucas. And like I said in a video, I love her and Lucas' friendship, but we're not gonna sit here and act like Haley. She was never once questioned about her dating Nathan when he bullied Lucas. And I just feel like there's so many One Tree Hill rants to talk about. Like, I feel like the more and more that I watch the show, or the more I go on TikTok, and I honestly, I hate going on TikTok, and I hate arguing with people about One Tree Hill, because these are people who have just now started watching the show. I've watching this show for 22 years. Not a first time watcher, not none of that. I've watching this show for 22 years. It has taken me time to look at things more logically as an adult. And there's just so much stuff to talk about. Like, there's so much stuff. You got people trying to compare the love triangle, Lathan versus Brooke, is to Bond Red and Jelly. Um, it's so much to talk about when it comes to One Tree Hill. Like, my goal was to finish One Tree Hill rants, then go back to the Vampire Diaries, and then finish the ones I didn't finish for Gossip Girl. But there's just so much One Tree Hill rants that I honestly feel like that would take me probably like a year and a half to finish, because the One Tree Hill rants that I had in my notes before aren't even uploaded or posted. I have videos, I have pictures in there about certain friendships. I haven't talked about Dan Scott yet. I wanted to talk about the favoritism between Lucas and Nathan. Like, there's so much, the double standard between the both of them. Like, there's so much to talk about. I want to make a video about why I think Peyton is overhated, why I think Lucas is overhated, and why I think people who ship Brooke and Lucas are delusional for thinking that they needed to be in game. I'm thinking about probably making another video about Peyton and Jake, because I'm just so tired of people saying they should be in game when none of them have any valid reasons for why they should be in game. The only thing I ever hear people say is that they look so cute playing house. So playing house at 16 is qualified enough to be in game with a partner. Okay then. And that's all play house then. How about that? We can all play house. Okay? That's all play house at 16, and that make you an in-game partner. I understand why people love Peyton and Jake. They were cute. They had chemistry. Da 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 da. I honestly feel like the people who like Peyton and Jake are the ones who hate Lathan, and they want Brookus to be in game. Like, and Honestly, I blame the podcast a lot for the negativity that the show gets, and why I feel like I blame the podcast a lot for why the amount of hate Lucas and Peyton have gotten is just so absurd now. I blame the podcast for it. I blame it for them entirely. I blame Hillary, even though I love Hillary and Sophie and Bethany with all my heart. I do blame a little bit all three of them for making friends, pretty much trying to insult fans' intelligence and trying to make them hate the show or hate the characters. They even bash their own characters' storylines, their own character development. Like you got Sophie telling, and you got Sophie saying in the podcast that she didn't even like her own attack storyline. She didn't like it. She thought it was stupid, and she said she just didn't think it was good. And the only reason why she thought that was because it was written by a man. Like she's turned into a full blown Karen. I don't understand. Why does something need to be written by a woman for people to connect to it more? People get attacked every single situations that Brooke was in. People get in situations like that probably every day that we don't even know about. Like what? I couldn't. She tried to sit there and say that it didn't make her feel anything because it was written by a man. And she didn't like the Angie storyline in season 5 either. She said she felt like it was cringy. Can you believe that? That scene at the airport when she had to give Angie away is one of the most saddest scenes of One Tree Hill. I cry every time she gives Angie away. Like, what? What? Child, please. Please, bye. I'm trying to think, what else did she say? I think she mentioned something about her storyline with her mother, how she kind of felt like it was rushed. And I humbly disagree. The storyline between Brooke and her mom, Victoria, was one of the best storylines on One Tree Hill. That scene in season 6 where her mom finally told Brooke that I have a daughter who's creative and she's vulnerable and she's sweet. And I never took the time to get to know her. That is one of the most saddest. Like it's a scene that makes you happy cry. Like I happy cry when I watch that scene because I feel like everything Brooke ever wanted and whatever she all she wanted all her life was just her mom to love her and her mom to see her. And it sucks that it happened so late, but hey, I feel like nothing is ever too late if you're willing to build on it. That's how I feel. I feel like it's never too late. The storyline that they had really should have gone to Nathan and Dan, but I feel like it was ruined because Dan killed Keith. If Dan would have never killed Keith, I think there would have been a lot more relationship building towards him and Nathan. So like yeah, like there's just so much to talk about. You got the girl who played Bethany, who plays Haley. She bashes her and Nathan's relationship daily on that podcast. Daily, she says she feel like her and Nathan never should have gotten married. She takes no accountability for Haley leaving in season 2. She actually the one thing I will give her is that they finally saw what I've been saying for years about Nathan is that I feel like whenever he does something, the writers try to make it seem like it's not that big of a deal. Like I don't understand it. I don't get it. I will never understand. The fact that the girl on TikTok who had her when she hit on Pop Her Opinions that really pissed me off yesterday, I went so ham in the comments. She said Nathan deserved better than Haley. So he's gonna sit here and act like Nathan wasn't emotionally cheating on Haley whenever he got the opportunity? That he wasn't giving other bitches attention when he had the opportunity? Get the fuck out of here. If anything, I should be questioning Nathan. Like, what are you doing, bro? Him and Haley both made mistakes, but fans choose to not make a big deal out of it because they love Nathan more. Just because Nathan didn't kiss anyone does not mean he's not terrible for what he's doing. Like, what? What? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. The fuck out. She constantly bashes her and Nathan's relationship constantly on that podcast, saying that she felt like they were way too young to get married. And I had a lot of people say that they feel like the show was doing too much for making them get married and da 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 da. I hear it all the time. And she said how she felt like she thought it was crazy that the show tried to romanticize their relationship by getting married so young. Like, they don't even understand why fans fell in love with the show, which is why I don't understand. How can you react to a show that you don't even have a real deep emotional connection to outside of certain storylines? I don't understand it. I don't get it. And Hillary, the one thing I would say that pissed me off the most about Hillary is the way she talked about Lucas and Peyton's love story. I absolutely hate it. Now, there are certain points where she praises it and says she understands why people love them together, but then the whole trauma bond thing that people have now been saying, I think ever since last year, she started that. She started that. Every time there's a scene between Lucas and Peyton that's like Lucas being there for her, she constantly says it is a trauma bond. And I do not understand why she says that. I never once saw it that way. I feel like if you can't separate an emotional connection from a trauma bond, then I'm assuming you've never felt an emotional connection. That's the only thing I can assume. If you never felt an emotional connection to someone or something, then you probably don't understand the difference. And I just never felt that way about her and Lucas. I never felt that way. The scene where she said that Peyton went to his house after she was attacked, she said that's a trauma bond. And when Sophie and Bethany was like, "What?" Like, she said she thinks Peyton is way too over attached to Lucas. How's that a trauma bond? How is that a trauma bond because she leans on him to feel safe, to feel warm? How is that a trauma bond? Like, I literally do not get it. I don't get it. Sorry, my dog is in here. I'm like, I literally do not get it. How's that trauma bond? When she talked about, um, there was the scene in season 5 when we going when they show Peyton's house and they show all the collections that she has of like the book that Lucas wrote, basically their love story in the whole book, and how she listens to the audio. She said she feels that was like kind of unhealthy, and she think that's also a trauma bond. Me personally, I don't see it that way. The reason why Peyton was hooked up on the breakup was because it was very fresh. Like her and Lucas broke up 4 years ago. They broke up. I believe in that episode it was 3 years ago, or yeah, I believe it was 3 years ago. Her and Lucas broke up. In season 5, in the first episode, it's 5 years. It's been 4 years later, so it's very fresh. The breakup is very fresh. It's very new. So I could definitely understand why she's still hooked up on him. Like I said, it's bad for her to have CDs and his DVDs, but it's okay for Brooke to have photos of Lucas after they already had 2 breakups. Like, be consistent. Make sense with that. That makes no sense to me. I can sit here and tell me that she's wrong for that. It's her breakup. If she wants to collect his books and listen to it and feel the love again, she can do that. That does not make it a trauma bond because she's sad and she's she's collecting things that remind her of Lucas. You never been sad? You never just thought about someone and how much that crushed you and like had something that they ever had? You never had that. You never had that? Like, I'm really trying my best to keep calm when I hear people have these ridiculous opinions about the show. Like, I'm trying my very hardest. Like, I had to unfollow their podcast on TikTok because it got that bad to me. I was leaving harshful comments every single time about them underneath the comments, to the fact that they were responding back to me, and I was getting it was getting bad because I just absolutely hated the way that they talked about the show. Like, absolutely hated it. I absolutely hated it. Me personally, I don't think Lucas and Peyton had a trauma bond. It was a deep emotional connection, and I feel like a lot of people didn't understand the connection. I think that's why a lot of people just think it was just a trauma bond. Even though most of the conversations was even about, they had other conversations. Just because Peyton is confiding in him about her dad being away and how she feels lonely doesn't make it a trauma bond. And just because Lucas is trying to understand her situation and be there for her and give her a shoulder to lean on does not make it codependent or a trauma bond. It's ridiculous. And the fact that people are calling them toxic is also ridiculous to me. That is absurd. The situation wasn't okay, but I feel like to call him toxic is a bit of a stretch. The fact that she said that Peyton is a toxic person and Lucas, I disagree. I humbly disagree. Lucas isn't perfect, Peyton isn't perfect, but toxic, child, not even close. Yet y'all hate Lucas, but yet y'all give a character like Damon Salvatore so much grace. I'll never understand. I'll never understand it. His definition of toxic. Him and Lena are definition of codependency. What hobbies do they have outside of each other? At least Spade and Lucas have goals and have things they want to accomplish. I can't even tell you what the fuck Damon and Lena want to accomplish. What is that? What is that so I can see what it is? Can anyone tell me? I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. Hopefully, when I make these rants will cure every single annoying thing about the new people who are watching this show now. And I feel like I definitely need to make a video about the whole comparison to the Summer I Turned Pretty. Because me personally, I don't even like the idea of them comparing these two shows. In my opinion, I don't even like it. It makes no sense to compare it or any of that. The fact that this girl, I got into it with this girl on TikTok a few days ago when she said that she felt like Lucas choosing Peyton in season 4, episode 9, didn't make any sense. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking like, has she watched the show? For you to sit there and say that it made no sense proves that you were not watching the show. Proves that you were not looking at and listening to what was telling us. Lucas and Peyton are the definition of a slow burn. Yes, they dated other people, but it was very much established that they were always in love with each other, but they dated other people, which is something you could accurately do. Lucas was in love with two people at the same time. He can he wanted Brooke. Okay, he wanted Brooke. Peyton was with Jake. Peyton was not with Jake in season 3. She was single. And again, I think people are missing. There are so many spoilers in season 2 for Lathan and in season 3 for her and Lucas. There's so many spoilers. The scene where Ellie asked her mom, what Ellie, Peyton's mom, asked her, has she ever been in love? She said, she mentioned Jake, and she said her and Nathan were not in love. But she said there was also this one guy. Talk about Lucas. The reason why she didn't say his name is because obviously he's with Brooke. I don't understand people not catching on to this shit. I don't get it. Just because you want to see it, and that's why I'm still making a video about, I think Brooke and shippers are delusional. If you're going to sit here and tell me, because Lucas wanted Brooke in season 2, and that he yearned for her in season 3, and that even after their breakup in season 4, that he wanted to be with Brooke. If you honestly think to me that proves they should have been in game, I think you are clearly delusional, in my opinion. Very, very much so. First of all, him and Brooke having feelings for each other in season 2 didn't even make any sense from a logical standpoint. That literally came out of nowhere. And I think another thing people need to understand too, and this might hurt a couple people's feelings, the reason why they kept trying to shove uh, Lucas and Brooke down our throats is because Chad and Sophie were together in real life. That's why. If you want to go sit here and tell me that their relationship did not have any impact on them being a couple, you're a fucking liar. A dead wrong liar. So the fact that girl tried to put Lathan on relationships that they kept trying to force on us, how? They didn't get together till season 4. Lucas and Peyton dated other people before they even got together. Even though they still had a love story, the feelings and all that stuff being in love, it was still there. The teasers, all of it was still there, but they were dating other people. How? And like I said, the people who are mad that they ended together are the ones who wanted Brookers to be in game. But yeah, y'all talk about she deserved better. How she deserve better if y'all want her to end up with Lucas? If he's such a cheater and this and motherfucking that, y'all want her to end up with Lucas, right? He's so horrible, right? Shut the fuck up. Even though he's not horrible, Lucas gets hate for what female characters get away with daily, and other characters that y'all like daily, daily. As soon as I mentioned Elena and Belly, she had nothing else to say about Lucas. Are you serious? The fact that she tried to say that he kissed two girls while he was with, no, he kissed Peyton twice when he was with two different girls. I'm like, didn't Lena do the same thing? Didn't Billy do the same thing? Okay then, shut the fuck up. Y'all trying to sit here and cop and plead because y'all want to hate him more than y'all hate the female characters. No, I'm tired of that. And I made a video about that too. I'm tired of the double standard when it comes to male and female characters when it comes to love triangles. I'm tired of it. It's stupid. I don't like it. But like I said before, if you're gonna sit here and tell me, first of all, I think people might have a little feel screw Lucas too about that. In season 4, when Lucas and Brooke broke up, Lucas was hooked on Brooke for 2 episodes. After that, he didn't care about Brooke no more. Him and Brooke were done. They were over. They were done. The episode in episode 2, he asked her if they can be friends. They can be friends. You know, he still care about her. He wants to be her friend. Anything like that. She talked about why you over here when you were Peyton. He talked about me and Peyton not together. I already told you that. Like, I'm not saying she don't have, and I actually plan on making this into a video because she pissed me off so bad in season 4. I'm not saying Brooke didn't have any right to be bitter, but she's acting like she's a victim here. That is what irritates me. It's one thing if she didn't know or anything like that, but I got a video about that too coming out. That's actually was a video that I wanted to do this weekend, but things were just way too busy to do it, so what we rescheduled. I wanted to make a video on why I feel like the people who are trying to sit here and act like Brooke didn't know that Lucas and Peyton were into each other, y'all fucking liars. There's so much evidence of Brooke clearly knowing that they were in love with each other, and she still went after Lucas. Like, huh? How you're not a victim, sweetie? You're not a victim. You're not. Not saying that she didn't have any right to be upset or mad. Yes, they Peyton kissed him. Then she was honest with you. You cut her out. You and Lucas finally break up. Finally, it happened. I was tired of that, and I was tired of it. It was time for a breakup, and I think it just needed to happen. It just needed to. Both of their actions just was not lining up with the relationship. Even if people want to act like it was all Lucas, no. Brooke did not show him that she wanted to be with him enough either, in my opinion. She didn't really fight for him. She didn't really yearn for him. I don't think she really wanted Lucas for real. I think she liked the way Lucas made her feel, like, intimately, but I don't think she really wanted him, in my opinion. She never yearned for him. She never really wanted him. There's no scenes in the show of her ever expressing to anybody how she feels about him. There's none of that. So the fact she talk about you're with Peyton, we don't need to be friends, and Lucas was like, well, I guess you could. I thought we could still be friends because I care about you. You know what? Whatever. He walked away. She was mad. And when he said you never gave me a real reason why you broke up with me, I agree. That reason that she gave him was really bullshit. She could just rip the band-aid off and say it was about pain. She talked about missing each other and blah, 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 blah. Like, what the fuck was she even talking about? Like, I don't understand what she was talking about. I don't get it. I remember everyone being so mad when Lucas blocked out her voice when she was talking. And I'm thinking, like, you ever know that moment when you're just hearing bullshit out of somebody else's voice, and you just block it out? That's basically what he was doing. Instead of her just telling him that it was about Peyton and them having this on again, off again history, and that she don't want to be a part of it, she easily could have just said that. She talked about missing you, and I don't miss us, and I don't want to do this anymore. Okay, whatever. Bye. At this point, I didn't care. I didn't feel anything when they broke up. It was about time, in my opinion. I was tired of it. I was tired of them together. I was tired of all of it. Not saying that Brooke did not just she didn't have the right to be mad or anything like that. But just because you're mad doesn't mean they give you the right to steal your friend's magazine, to steal your friend's art, and to use it as a way to make profit. Does not give you the right to slap your friend when she told you the truth. Does not give you the right to steal your best friend's tutor sheets. Brooke did a lot of terrible shit in season 4, and people just blindly look it over. Blindly look it over. Like for real. Like not even that. Like no one ever questions. I feel like no one ever questions anything she ever does that's wrong or anything like that. I feel like no one ever questions it. Like the host, I made a side rant in the Haley situation when I mentioned how no one ever questions her giving Felix a chance, but she couldn't give Lucas a second chance, or she couldn't give Moff a chance. Honestly, that shows the kind of girl she is. You're willing to give a guy who you had a friends benefit relationship with a chance, but not Lucas? Really? You trying to turn nothing but sex into a relationship? Really? Mm. That is somebody who I would never, ever trust any judgment from when it comes to a relationship like that. Brooke was the definition of a male centered character. At first, I feel like she was the definition of it. And I feel like a lot of people tend to forget that she was literally the definition of that sometimes. Like, she really didn't have a lot of storylines going on in season 4 outside of her dating. Like, the only storyline she really had that had nothing to do with dating was her storyline with Rachel about stealing the tutor sheet and the tutor key and then the tutor sheet, and her helping her and Peyton, their storyline in season 4, them having that big fight and then them rescuing each other, all that. And I want to make a bit about that too, about how I kind of feel like their friendship gets a little bit too much hate in the show. And I get it. I will say that one of the things that I will say that doesn't annoy me about the podcast is that how I understand that Hillary and Sophie are really tight. They're like sisters in real life. I understand that. But we cannot sit here and act like that the friendship wasn't bad when they were both in love with the same guy. That's gonna cause friction. Now, if we want to say it's toxic in that aspect, then okay, I will give y'all that. Because fighting over the same guy can make things very, very toxic when neither one of you are willing to take accountability. I feel like I feel like Brooke knew that Peyton was sorry. I don't think she was like truly over it. I don't, and I'm not saying she has to be over the betrayal or anything like that. How are you willing to forgive if you can't even forgive the hurt? You're choosing to hang on to the hurt. That's your problem. It ain't mine. I think that's all it really was with Brooke. I think she was willing to forgive, but I don't think she was willing to work through her pain when it came to the whole situation about being betrayed. And I understand she was betrayed twice, but people act like Peyton was betrayed. Peyton was betrayed twice too by Brooke. When she went out with Lucas after knowing how she felt about him, and when she slept with Nathan. That's a complete total betrayal. I don't give a fuck how y'all want to picture it, how y'all want to do it. It's a complete total betrayal. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. I understand from that aspect. But I actually like her and Peyton's friendship. To me, I think it's way more healthier to show that two friends, after everything they've been through, that they could still be friends and still love each other and work through it, than them not being friends at all over a guy for their entire life. And in no situations where they were not talking because of the situation, it made sense. But could you imagine going 4 years without talking about, well, not? Can you imagine going 4 years hitting your friend or something that happened in high school? It's a bit childish and immature to me, in my opinion. I do feel like her and Peyton had that fight that her and Peyton had in season 4. I feel like it was everything that they needed to release in over the years. And this girl said they were like the type of friends who loved each other but they hate each other at the same time. I don't think they hate each other, or I don't think it was even competitive. That one dude said he thinks that it was competitive. I don't think it was competitive. I don't think Peyton was ever trying to compare herself to Brooke or anything of the sort like that. I do think Brooke was threatened by the connection that Peyton and Lucas did have. I think that's why she initially went after Lucas, because she wanted to have something stable and she wanted to feel safe too. You happen to do that with the same guy that I like. Okay, whatever. There's just so much to talk about when it comes to One Tree Hill. And like I said, what I will say about Hillary and Sophie on the podcast is that I love that they love their friendship moments between Brooke and Peyton. But I also feel like I don't like how they don't talk about the friction in between the friendship. Like they don't seem to want to talk about it. And I think for them, it just makes it easy to not talk about it. And I know that people like Brooke and Haley's friendship. Oh, they're a real friendship. Why? Because they don't fight about anything. Why? Because they never ever got into an argument about anything. You're not gonna in a life. Even if you have a healthy relationship with your husband and husband, wife and wife, you're never gonna not have an argument about anything. You're never not gonna blow up over anything. It's just not impossible. However, the fact that after like season 4, the writers completely forgot that Brooke and Haley were friends. Since a lot of y'all want to try to glaze over that, in season 5, her and Haley did not have any interactions. Barely. The only time that you ever see her and Haley interacting is when it's Haley, Brooke, and Peyton all together. However, the fact in season 6, her and Haley barely had interactions. The writers did not know they were friends again until season 7, 8, and 9. And even that aspect, I don't remember shit from their friendship. The only thing I remember is Brooke telling Haley that she can't have kids. That is the only thing I remember. What else do y'all remember from their friendship? People, I feel like people who like them are the ones who don't like her and Peyton's friendship because they think that it was toxic all the time, and that's just not true. Now, I can understand if they feel like them in the whole Lucas situation just makes it too toxic to like it. I could understand, but I feel like it ain't like it's a Blair and Serena friendship. Like it ain't yet they acting like it's that level of a friendship, or Tony and Jen from Girlfriends. It's not that level of a friendship. It's only bad because they like Lucas, in my opinion. Outside of that, they're always there for each other when it counts. Through their thick and thin, every time they're always there for each other. The fact that Brooke went to go save Peyton when they were on the out shows you how much loyalty they have for each other. The fact that Brooke, not even that, the fact that Peyton, when she got all that money from her music venue in season 5, the fact that she got all that money and she gave it back to Brooke for helping her out when she came down here and she didn't have no job, she didn't have a place to live, nothing, shows you the loyalty they have for each other. Like what? I think people try to tend to forget a lot of their friendship moments. Peyton brought book that Peyton brought Book that dress in season 2 that she wanted to wear to prom because she didn't have any money. She bought her that dress. Y'all want to forget the good moments because y'all want to delusion yourself into thinking that it was always bad, and it wasn't. Not saying that the good moments shall outweigh the bad shit that happened, but they actually have a way more tolerable friendship than a lot of other friendships I've seen portrayed in TV, in my opinion. Like, I would say Emma and Manny have a way more toxic friendship to me. I really didn't understand why they were both friends with each other, honestly, in my opinion. I feel like Emma deserves someone who was a way better friend. I don't think Manny was ever understanding. And Manny was always wrong and she didn't like being corrected. Don't get me wrong, Emma was judgmental and she was very self righteous. I think she deserved to be friends with someone who was someone else. And I think Manny deserved to be friends with someone who was self centered and stuck up just like she was, in my opinion. In my opinion. I think Manny and Emma are worse friends than Brooke and Peyton. And when it comes to being there for each other, it's very one sided between Manny and Emma. Emma is always there for Manny, and Manny is never there for her. Give me one moment Manny was ever there for Emma and Degrassi. Don't worry, I'll wait. Oh, crickets? Okay then. Unlike Brooke and Peyton, they're always there for each other. Always. The only time they're on the out is when they have stuff going on with Lucas. Period. And that's why that fight in season 4 was needed because I feel like it was everything that they did not address to each other because they both were afraid to be honest. And the one time that Peyton was honest, she got slapped in the face for it. When Brooke was never honest about anything. Ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao. And I do remember them talking about the fight in season 4 and how they both said it was very sad to have to watch that after all these years. And they said they just remember filming it and loving it. I definitely think it was great acting by both ladies. They both deserved so much praise for that scene. The scene was amazing and I absolutely loved it. I just think it was everything that needed to be said. In my opinion, I think it was everything that just needed to be ripped off the band-aid. In my opinion, from both of them, and I can't wait to talk about Peyton, because I feel like a lot of people say that people say that she make everything about her, which I think is truly, I think that's not true. A lot of people say she likes to trauma dump her problems onto people. That's crazy. That to me sounds like victim blaming, in my opinion. The girl was almost SA'd, people. Almost SA'd. She's trauma dumping. She was almost attacked in her house. She was almost SA'd again. What? We gonna forget that she was held captive in her own house on prom night? Are y'all kidding me? Peyton has no right to be paranoid and traumatized. All she ever been through is trauma in her entire life. Get the fuck out of here. How about the next time y'all say that, I'm gonna say, you know what? Brooke's parents not loving her. How about she shut the fuck up and start trauma dumping her shit on people? How about that? Y'all wouldn't like that, would y'all? Man, get the fuck out of here. The hate that Peyton gets is so absurd. I do not understand it. I do not get it. I do not get it. I do not understand. I do not understand. A lot of people say, because I saw this on TikTok, after this, I'm done. I'm clocking out. I'm just letting y'all know a couple of things I'm going to have in store for you guys when I get there. I saw this on TikTok say that a lot of the blonde characters in the teen dramas are the problem. And I do feel like there is a double standard between the blonde characters and the brunette characters. Like, everybody loves Brooke, but everybody hates Peyton. Everybody loves Blair, but everybody hates Serena. I hate Serena too, but Blair, she got a couple lashes underneath her belt too. Listen, I taken it 5% more easy on Serena, because the more that I watch the show back, Lily is a lot to blame for Serena's problems. Serena needed deep rooted therapy, in my opinion, and that's what I'm gonna leave it at. Everybody loves Manny. Everybody hates Emma. Everybody hates Marissa. Everybody loves Summer. Even though Summer was the most boring character in the OC. Yes, I said it. Like, y'all get what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm going here? People hate one character below the other character, but don't want to see certain character storylines or anything like that. I'm not telling you to like a character, but when you don't have a real reason for liking that character, is when it becomes absurd. The only reason why people hate Peyton so much is because everybody loves Brooke, and everybody wants to act like Brooke is just this innocent little victim, this innocent little lamb, and she was never that. The same thing too with Serena. Serena was Serena was terrible, in my opinion, to Blair. People always want to call out Blair, but no one ever calls out Serena enough, in my opinion. I feel like, and that's kind of how I feel like Brooke. I feel like it's reversed. People can't wait to call out Peyton, but no one ever calls out Brooke, and it's crazy like that. I don't. It's really crazy. Um. Yeah, and I was really. I have more Gossip Girl rants too. I'm gonna go on because it's actually been a minute. I haven't watched Gossip Girl in a minute because my HBO Max account and Netflix need to get paid. But I have not watched Gossip Girl in a minute. But I wanted to make another video about Jenny. I wanted to make a video about Vanessa because I hate Vanessa, and people saying that she wasn't that bad. Man, bitch, please. I also wanted to make another video about Dan and Blair and why I absolutely hate them and why I think they're definitely the reason why the show went downhill after season 4. I saw this clip of Dan invited Prince Louis to his house to get Blair and Prince Louis back together after they called off the wedding. And Blair asked him, why would he do that? And someone underneath the comments said he loved her so much that he had to let her go. So if Chuck would have done the exact same thing after Blair told him that she didn't want nothing to do with him when she was called off the wedding, y'all been calling him toxic instead of saying that what he did was, they would have thought it would have been like some alternative motive for Chuck if he would have did something like that. But because Dan did it, he's a great guy? No. Honestly, the whole Dan and Blair storyline is a video in itself. Like, not gonna lie, that situation kind of made me really pissed at Blair, in my opinion. Like, really, really pissed at her. And the only reason why I was really pissed at Blair is because I actually had a video about this coming out, but it, like I said, because it's been so busy, I never had an opportunity to talk about it. And the name of the video was me addressing people saying that Blair was a bad friend, but it was never shown. It was always hidden or something like that. Someone said, and they mentioned they showed the clip of Serena telling Blair that she had feelings for Dan, and Blair knew that. So why is her and Dan kissing? How could she not tell she had feelings for Dan? All this, all that. I can somewhat understand where Serena is coming from. Blair, you don't have feelings for him, but yet you're around him all the time. You're always confiding in him all the time. You have feelings for him. You're not willing to admit it. Now, the problem that I also have with this as well is that the writers completely forgot about Dan and Serena after like season 4. They completely forgot about them, even though they should have gotten back together in season 4, in my opinion. That is the season where Dan and Serena should have gotten back together. Their ending in season 6 seemed so rushed and just so out of nowhere, and I didn't understand it. Um, there's just so much to unpack with that situation that it's not even gonna. I can't even talk about it right now. It's so much to unpack. I would say that it did make me pissed about season 5. Made me pissed about Blair's character in general, in my opinion. Like I love Blair in season 5. Like I can never hate Blair. I can never hate her, but I don't mean I don't I don't question her decisions or anything of the sort. Like I don't ever question it. I feel like a lot of things that she was doing in season 5 really annoyed me, and I feel like it's not talked about enough. But yet Lucas is always talked about. Blair went through 3 guys in season 5 of Gossip Girl, and y'all complaining about Lucas kissing y'all. It's just a double standard. It's crazy. The same thing could. Oh, I also had 91210 rents I want to talk about too. I want to talk about that too. Beverly Hills 91210. I actually don't worry. That might be like a part 2 on Blair and Serena's friendship. My thoughts on their friendship. So we're just gonna call it that. I'm gonna call it that. The part 2 on their friendship, and I will mention the whole Dan situation and anything like that. I will mention it. On to 91210, the rants that I have planned for that show. Now, 91210, Vampire Diaries, there's still a whole bunch of things that I need to get unpacked. Like, I haven't even talked about some of the things from that show. So, Vampire Diaries, that's coming. 91210, Beverly Hills 91210. I want to talk about the double standard between. Well, I really want to talk about how I think Kelly was wrong for what she did to Brandon, but yet it's not ever talked about in season 5, in my opinion. How she kind of played him and how she also cheated on him with Dylan, but yet people don't seem to care about that because people love Dylan and Kelly so much, but yet Peyton and Lucas get hated on for doing exactly what other TV show characters did. Crazy to me. It's crazy to me how people were begging for Conrad and Belly to cheat. Wanted Belly to cheat on Jeremiah with Conrad, but Lucas and Peyton get hate for it for kissing. Crazy to me. The double standards will never not end. Um, I wanted to talk about how I think Kelly was never a good friend to Brenda in Beverly Hills 90210, and how I personally do not like Kelly. I do not like Kelly. And I want to agree on why I feel like Dylan and Brenda were the real end game of the show, and why I feel like after they broke up, the show went downhill. It's hard to say, but it had to be said. Um, I actually recently just watched the reboot that was made in 2008. I watched the first 9 episodes of that show, and I was done. That show is so bad. They were trying way too hard to be like Gossip Girl. When they did not have the same spunk, the same anything as Gossip Girl. The acting is bad. Everything looks so staged in that show. There's like nothing going on in that show. I don't want to hear nothing about the Secret Life of American Teenager ever again after watching that show. Ever, ever. I don't want to hear anything about Secret Life of a Teenager ever again after watching that. Ever. That show is so bad. And that's all I have to say. That show is terrible. So yeah, that's really been my rants, my channel updates. I'm still watching Dawson's Creek. like I said, things have just been so busy. Like I hate using it as an excuse, but really things really have been really busy. And I'm about to start watching Gilmore Girls for the first time. So it's going. Um so yeah, that's just been a little of a channel update. Thank you guys so much for just being patient and understanding where I'm coming from. Rants and all that stuff will come back when things get back to normal around here. So outside of that, just be patient and just look out for, I would say, couple rants, or not even that, like toxic couple rants. I mean, toxic couple edits I've been doing. Sorry, but love you guys and keep supporting me. Bye.